Hello YouTube and all who inhabit it, greetings from the Stop Motion Reviewer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the War for Cybertron, Siege, Power of the Primes, Combiner Wars. I don't fucking know what line this figure comes from anymore. Orthia. Orthia transforms into a series of 5 different Fembots that appeared back in the Generation 1 episode. I can't remember the name of this episode, please insert the name of the episode here. These Fembots are made up of a team of Greenlight, Lancer, Nova Star, Moonracer, and Elita 1. Starting off with by far the worst of all the molds, we're just going to take a look at Elita 1 really quickly. This mold is based off of one of the infamously worst Jetformer transformers that ever came out of any line of anything in world history. I despise this jet mode with a passion, and the best part is, it didn't even make it through the review. One of the panels on the jet broke off, and the pin snapped out, and now the only way this thing is held on is just purely friction, so good job, Hasbro. Way to make the quality control so shit that something I've only played with twice that's been sitting on my shelf for the last 8 months somehow breaks upon the first time I ever really transformed the thing. This jet mode is by far the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, literally, just flip the thing upside down and it's an instant meme. Mom says it's my turn on the Xbox. The other 4 Fembots turn into these very weird, strange, Cybertronian limo-like car things, and I actually kind of enjoy the vibe that they bring off. Everyone is critical of these things due to the fact that they're all repaints of each other, but I actually like the slightly different color scheme, yet simultaneous uniformity that they bring up in the Combine Bow, which we'll discuss later on. And let me tell you, I've never had so much unfun animating a Combiner in my life. This thing made me want to commit bloody murder. The color scheme on Greenlight is a really cool, flashy green, and I love the transparent parts of this vehicle mode too. It looks the most quintessentially Cybertronian vehicle mode like I've ever seen in my life, and I enjoy this thing immensely. It also comes with a little figure named Dazzle Strike who transforms into a giant-ass sick death sword that comes in the robot mode, and a little cat. I think it's pretty cool that Greenlight has a little companion that comes with them, and I'm hoping this premieres in the War for Cybertron cartoon that we still know absolutely jack shit about. Lancer's outlandish purple and orange color scheme, I guess you could say it's out of this world. All cripplingly stupid puns aside, I actually like the color scheme on this one of the best. It's a very weird, awkward colors scheme that shouldn't work well with each other, because purple and orange, why would that work together? I don't know, but I enjoy it a lot. She does come with a little pea shooter that I believe it's Nova Star came with before, but I lost that copy of the gun on Nova Star, so she no longer has a gun, and neither does Moonracer. Because this figure set, in case you didn't know, was a conceptual nightmare. This thing took 3 full lines worth of Transformers in order to fully come out and fully get released to the general public. And I just got Lancer yesterday, just finding her on Amazon, and it was the last one in stock. Oh my god, I'm so glad this thing is done, because it gave me so much anguish finding it. Getting onto the Cybertronian race car transformation, it's kind of interesting. It's this very weird, swivelly, panely transformation with the one last backpack slap-on, with a backpack that pretty much just protrudes like 8 feet off the figure. It's funny how I animated this thing, because literally the legs were elevated at least a good 3 inches off the ground because of how friggin' thick the backpack was. As for Elita 1, it's objectively the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. The transformation on this figure isn't fun or enjoyable, even though it looks relatively innovative with the way all the jet kibble rotates 180 degrees on a spin hinge. I think it's pretty cool looking, but it's complete shit to transform in person. The posability on the figures is relatively okay, I guess, but it's nowhere near the rest of the Siege line. And it's very disappointing because the hips on Lancer are complete ass, and they're slightly less ass on Greenlight. It's weird, because the further you go back with how long I've owned these figures for, the less shit the joints are, and the less shit the plastic is. And the less you feel like you're getting ripped off for paying $30 for fucking Lancer. As for Elita 1, the joints on the figure aren't pleasant to work with at all. The knees and hips on the thing are way too loose and floppy and flimsy, and altogether just a complete dumpster fire. The arms are on stupidly tight ratchet joints at the biceps, so bending the elbows is a pain in the ass. And when you finally do get to bend them and actually work with them, they get so loose they're not even worth it anymore. The way the jet cable folds up on the back does give it a little bit of character, I guess. And it's not the worst backpack I've seen in the world, but it's definitely not fun to maneuver around, because if you move the thing even slightly to the left or right, it activates the spin hinge for transformation and completely screws with the whole goddamn thing. But as a team, as an individual team of bots with 5 different fembots and everything else, this looks like a stunning 5 set. I don't know why in the hell these things are such garbage if they look so stunning together in their individual modes. As for the combined mode, it's not as much of an unstable dumpster fire, train wreck, shit show, piece of absolute garbage, fuck you, that I remember it being, but it's not great either. I was going to take additional photos of this thing to show off the posability on the figure, and there's no way that I can, because the hips aren't strong enough to support jack shit. And it's amazing, one joint on the figure can completely ruin the whole thing. The arm joints are fine, the rest of the thing's fine, it's relatively stable when you're just standing it up, but move the hips even 1 degree out to the right and fuck. Finally, a combiner more unstable than ankle tear. The ratchet joints on the thing don't have a large enough range of motion, so yet again, the only thing you're gonna get is it practically doing a split, or looking like it's about to take a dump pose, or making it look like everything's so close together that the arms won't move the hell away from the body. Altogether, this set is deeply imperfect, but in the individual modes, I can definitely forgive it, because it definitely comes off like a really cool dynamic team. As a combiner, I'd give it a very solid, literally 4 out of 10. But as a individual team of bots, just for the robot mode, just explicitly for the robot mode and not for the vehicle mode, I'd give it about a 7. It's not the worst set in the world, it's not as bad as I remember it being, but it's not great either. This has been the Stop Motion Reviewer, and my next review may or may not be on Earthrise Prime. If not, Earthrise Grapple should be getting here soon, and hopefully I can be the first person to review him.